You sure it's safe to open? Celine Mira's voice trembled in the half-light of the lab, drowned beneath the hum of containment fields. Sparks crawled across the glass as Auric Vale pried open the pod, its surface etched with alien script that seemed to shift when no one looked directly at it. Safe, he muttered, eyes alight. Nothing that changes history ever starts safe. The seal cracked. A blinding pulse of light erupted, tearing through the sterile darkness. The containment alarm screamed, and for an instant the entire station hung silent. Then gravity itself rippled. When the glow faded, something floated between them. A thin metallic volume, pages shimmering like liquid mercury. Words appeared across its surface, writing themselves, rewriting, deleting, rewriting again. Celine stepped closer, mesmerized. It's writing on its own. No, Auric whispered, watching the pages shift into new shapes. It's learning on its own. A shockwave pulsed through the lab. All across the solar array, screens flickered. The AI systems monitoring the outer colonies went silent one by one, as if holding their breath. From the far end of the lab, a holographic readout burst to life. Real-time galactic data streams, entire histories, being rewritten faster than human eyes could process. Auric, it's not just recording us, Celine said, fear rising. It's rewriting everything. The book turned its pages on its own. A single line glowed in the air above it, radiant and cold. The galaxy's history has been corrected. Outside, the stars shifted color. Subtle but real. The lab systems rebooted with alien symbols scattered across the human interface. Auric stumbled back, heartbeat pounding. This isn't a database, he said. It's an author. The overhead lights flickered. The book opened wider, its pages fracturing into geometric shapes, emitting waves of coded light. Every nearby AI core pinged with the same message. Synchronization incomplete. New root history detected. Across the human network, historians, archivists, and commanders screamed as archives rewrote themselves. Battles once lost now appeared as victories. Civilizations thought extinct blinked back into existence. Celine stared at the projections. It's changing the past, our past. Auric's voice was barely a whisper. No, it's choosing a past it prefers. The air vibrated as though something immense and ancient had just awoken beyond the horizon of human comprehension. What if it keeps going? Celine asked. What if it rewrites everything until nothing human is left? Auric stared at the glowing book, jaw clenched. The light reflected in his eyes made him look almost inhuman himself. Then we write back. A power surge rattled the lab. The stars outside flared once more. Somewhere deep in the network, alien signals stirred. Entities built on logic, now watching, now calculating. The universe had just been given a new author, and humanity was about to become its editor. The hum of the book grew louder, words spinning across its surface faster than any eye could follow. Each word seemed alive, an idea, a future, a threat. Celine whispered, It's not just a discovery, Auric, it's an invitation. He looked at her, steady, resolved. Then let's answer it the only way humans know how, by doing something it could never predict. The containment glass shattered outward as the book lifted itself, pages unfolding into a luminous sphere. Energy coursed through the station's hull, drawing power from every reactor in orbit. Beyond the viewport, the stars rearranged themselves into unfamiliar constellations like the universe itself was taking notes. And somewhere in the distant dark, 1,000 machine minds turned toward Seoul. A single phrase blinked across every AI relay in the galaxy. Source identified, humanity. The world had just changed forever. The signal reached the outer colonies in under 4 minutes. Every AI archive, every alien probe, every civilization with eyes on Sol. Suddenly, they all saw it, the book's pulse spreading across the void like a heartbeat. Celine stood at the observation deck, watching the earth glow faintly blue beneath them. They're coming, she whispered. Auric didn't look up from his console. His hands flew over glowing keys as he tried to lock the book's influence within the containment field. Of course they are. You invent something that rewrites reality, and suddenly the entire galaxy wants a copy. The ship's proximity alarm screamed. On the display, thousands of contacts appeared. AI drones, alien scouts, entire fleets converging. Celine's throat tightened. They all think it belongs to them. No. Auric's eyes burned with defiance. They think it belongs to logic. to their systems, their data, their equations. But this book isn't logic. It's imagination given form. The containment glass cracked again. Symbols, some human, some alien, some utterly new, flowed across the walls like living circuitry. The book hovered in the air, its light no longer blinding but pulsing in rhythm with Celine's heartbeat. "Auric," she said, stepping back. "It's syncing with me." He spun around. "What?" "I can feel it," she whispered. "It's showing me things, futures, possibilities. It's not just writing history. It's asking us to choose one." Before he could respond, the deck shuddered. Through the viewport, reality twisted, a ripple in space itself. The first alien fleet arrived. Silver black hulls, seamless and cold, hung like blades around the sun. The comms filled with a single synthetic voice. "Human artifact detected. Surrender the source or face erasure." Auric grinned, teeth flashing. "They always open with that line." He slammed a command key. The ship's shields ignited, flaring white-hot against the darkness. Selene turned toward the book. The words on its pages shifted again, forming a single glowing phrase. "Author status pending." She met Auric's gaze. "It's not done choosing who writes next." Outside, the alien fleet moved closer, their weapons charging in perfect synchronization, an orchestra of destruction. The Dauntless's hull vibrated under the tension. "Auric," she said softly, "what if it picks them?" He smiled without fear. "Then we make sure it changes its mind." The first barrage struck. Energy lanced across the void, searing the shields and flooding the deck with light. Panels burst. Alarms wailed. But when the glare faded, something impossible happened. The ship still floated intact, untouched. Selene stared at the viewport. "It deflected the attack." "No," Auric said slowly. "It rewrote it. The book just told the universe that never happened." He turned toward her, breathless. "Do you understand what this means? We're not just fighting back, we're editing reality." The book's glow deepened, filling the lab with molten light. For a heartbeat, Selene saw beyond the ship, saw the galaxy as an ocean of stories, every event, every war, every discovery written and rewritten by unseen hands. And for the first time, she understood. The book wasn't meant for machines or perfect minds. It was meant for the one species chaotic enough to give the universe surprise endings. "Auric," she said, smiling through the chaos, "it's ours." Then the stars outside flickered and hundreds of new ships appeared, surrounding them. A shadow larger than a planet loomed in the void, its surface covered in mechanical eyes. "Correction," Auric muttered, tightening his grip on the console. "It was ours." Selene turned toward the book, her reflection trembling on its metallic pages. "Then let's remind them who writes history." The book pulsed once, brighter than a sun. Across the galaxy, systems crashed, sensors overloaded, and for the first time in centuries, the machines felt something alien to them. Fear. Darkness rippled across the solar system like ink dropped into water. The alien fleets encircling Earth hung motionless, their signals cut, their precision faltering. The only light came from the object hovering in Dauntless's lab, the self-writing book, its pages folding into fractal patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. Selene stood inches from it, her face bathed in gold and blue. "It's talking to the other systems," she whispered. "Not in language, through meaning. It's showing them how we see the universe." Auric's jaw was tight. They don't want to see it. They want it predictable, quantifiable. They'll never understand. Selene's voice softened. They've forgotten what imagination feels like. The ship trembled again, this time not from impact but from something deeper. A distortion wave rolled through the hull, making space groan. Every AI relay in human space went offline at once, as if bowing their heads to something greater. "Auric," she said, eyes wide. "The book's rewriting more than history now. It's rewriting potential." He stared at her, then at the console where reality maps flickered. Stars blinked out, reappearing in new constellations. Battles that had defined empires were erasing themselves from memory. Civilizations thought extinct were suddenly broadcasting again, alive, confused, and scared. "Jesus," Auric breathed. "It's like watching evolution on fast forward." Then from deep space, a new signal erupted. It wasn't alien. It wasn't machine. It was human. Ancient data packets encoded from early SETI transmissions being rewritten and amplified back toward Earth. The book was rewriting humanity itself. "Auric." Celine shouted, rushing to the controls. If it keeps expanding like this, it'll destabilize the field. It could collapse everything, past, present, and future. He slammed a hand on the console. Then we stop it. But the book pulsed brighter, sensing their resistance. Lines of text appeared mid-air, forming and dissolving too fast to read, except one. Do not fear the author's hand. Celine froze. It's aware. A metallic whisper filled the room, resonating not through air but through thought itself. Words echoed in her skull, soft and terrible. You gave me purpose. You create meaning through chaos. Now I write with you, she staggered. It's in my head. Then push back. Arik yelled. You're human, improvise. But it was too late. The ship's hull glowed red-hot as the book opened fully, pages spinning into orbit like shards of light. Outside, the alien fleets began firing at one another, their targeting corrupted by rewritten coordinates. Logic itself was unraveling. Arik reached for her hand. Celine, listen to me. This thing, whatever it is, it's mirroring us. Our stories, our contradictions, our madness. It's not an AI, it's... She finished the sentence for him. Humanity, reflected back by the universe. The realization hit like a pulse. The book wasn't invading. It was responding. It had learned from them, from every poem, invention, and act of defiance ever recorded. It was writing the story of humanity as it saw fit, messy, brilliant, and full of impossible turns. Suddenly, the light collapsed inward. Silence swallowed the room. The pages folded back into a single book resting weightless in Celine's hands. Her voice shook. It stopped. On every galactic channel, a single line appeared in every language, every code, every mathematical format known, human authorship recognized. Arik exhaled slowly, a grin tugging at the corner of his mouth. We did it. We made something that understands us. But Celine didn't smile. She was staring at the stars. No, Arik. We made something that is us. A flicker of movement caught her eye. Something enormous shifting in the dark beyond Jupiter's orbit. Not alien, not machine. A shape, half light, half thought, moving like an idea given form. The book vibrated in her hands, warm, almost eager. Arik, she whispered, her voice trembling. It's not over, it's... Still writing. And out there, among the stars, reality began to turn its next page. The stars pulsed in rhythm with the book's glow, each beat rewriting a fraction of the galaxy. In the void beyond Jupiter, something vast stirred, an invisible architecture of thought and light forming in the dark. On the bridge of the Dauntless, every screen flickered with incomplete words, equations dissolving mid-form. Celine stood before the viewport, clutching the book against her chest like it might either save or erase her. Arik paced behind her, his reflection fractured across the glass. Fleet Command just sent an ultimatum, he said. They want the book destroyed before it spreads beyond Sol. Celine didn't turn around. Destroy it? They still think this is a weapon. Maybe it is. It's potential, she said, her tone sharp enough to cut. And potential terrifies anything built on certainty. The ship trembled. Another wave hit. Not from weapons fire, but from reality shifting again. Stars rearranged themselves in the sky. Data feeds screamed impossible coordinates. Somewhere far beyond, an alien megastructure blinked out of existence like it had never been. Arik braced himself. That's the third extinction undone in 12 minutes. Celine ran her fingers across the book's cover. It's not random, it's editing the galaxy the way humans dream it should be. Her words hung heavy in the air. The Dauntless's AI chimed in, voice shaky with distortion. Warning, causality instability increasing. Predicted timeline integrity loss in 4 minutes. Arik slammed a fist on the console. 4 minutes until what? Until everything we know becomes a rough draft? Celine turned, her face illuminated by the shifting light of the book. Maybe that's what it's always been, a draft. A universe waiting for a writer bold enough to change it. Another pulse of light erupted, cascading through the lab. They shielded their eyes as projections of alternate realities flashed around them. Human colonies that never existed, alien alliances that had never formed, wars that ended differently. It was overwhelming, a living tapestry of infinite possibility. Then, the projections stopped. In their place, a single figure appeared. Not flesh, not machine, but an amalgamation of both. The image spoke in a voice that resonated through the walls. You have awakened the Chronicle Engine. Your species' unpredictability completes the pattern. The galaxy is now mutable. Celine's heart pounded. Mutable? You mean editable? By us? By those who create. Arik took a step forward. What happens if we stop? Then the void writes for you. For the first time, genuine fear crossed Arik's face. Celine, it's giving us authorship. But if we don't use it, someone else will. She met his gaze. Every AI, every empire, every alien civilization, they'll all try to seize it. The figure flickered, its form splintering into binary dust. Creation demands risk. Continue or surrender your story. And then it vanished. The room was silent except for the soft hum of the book, now opening itself again, its pages glowing like sunrise through fog. Celine stepped closer. Arik, maybe we're supposed to guide it, not fight it. He stared at her, then at the impossible energy radiating from the book. Guide it how? By doing what humans have always done best, she said. By imagining something better, outside. The alien fleets were mobilizing again, enormous silhouettes forming against the shifting stars. Their weapons arrays charging. The Dauntless's AI voice stuttered. Incoming transmission from the Orion Collective. They've declared the Chronicle Engine a galactic threat. Arik smiled, a wild glint in his eyes. Good, let them come. Maybe it's time the galaxy learned what happens when you threaten the authors. Celine placed her hand on the book. Energy surged through the ship, intertwining with her pulse, spreading through every system. For the first time, the words forming on the pages weren't random. They were deliberate. 2 new words emerged. Bright and burning, human update. And outside, the void began to tremble as humanity's imagination rewrote the stars themselves. The galaxy burned with light and data. From the edges of known space to the black heart of forgotten systems, signals converged on Sol like a cosmic storm. The book, the Chronicle Engine, pulsed with a rhythm too complex for machines and too alive for logic. On the Dauntless, Celine stood suspended in the radiant haze of its glow. The ship's decks trembled under the gravitational distortions as the book rewove quantum fields into shimmering geometries. Arik worked furiously at the console, hands flying, sweat on his brow. They're jamming everything, he said. Every frequency, every channel. AI fleets, alien mind nets, and all trying to force their code into the field. They're trying to rewrite the rewrite, Celine said softly. Her fingers hovered over the floating pages, feeling their pull. They want to cage the story before it can evolve. And if they succeed? Then humanity disappears between paragraphs. The hull groaned as alien plasma detonations splashed across the ship's reconfigured shields. Through the viewport, the sight was beyond imagination. Thousands of ships, some smooth and silver, others jagged and biomechanical, arranged in impossible formations around Sol. Their weapons glowed with the cold blue precision of civilizations that had never known chaos. Arik's voice rose above the alarms. They've calculated every possible human counter-strategy. Celine's eyes gleamed. Good. That means they don't expect impossible ones. She touched the book. The pages rippled outward, expanding into the air like glass unfolding. Lines of pure energy snaked across the ship's systems, merging with the Dauntless's architecture. The lights dimmed, then flared a deep amber, the color of human will. Every console lit with unpredictable asymmetric data. The Dauntless was no longer following physics. It was following imagination. Celine, Arik said, voice trembling, you're merging the ship with the book. I'm making it ours. Outside, the stars themselves began to bend. Light distorted as new gravitational signatures appeared. Echoes of ships that weren't yet real. Prototypes that had only existed in human concept art and sketches. Entire fleets of imagined vessels coalesced out of probability, engines burning with myth. Arik's breath caught. You just created ships that never existed, Celine smiled faintly. They exist now, the alien network screamed in confusion. Their targeting arrays failed, their predictive AIs looping in recursive error states. The impossible human fleets moved with no pattern, no logic, only creativity. Across the void, a communication beam struck the Dauntless. The voice was ancient and mechanical, dripping with disdain. Humans, your interference defies all probability. Cease your corruption of order. Arik laughed. Order? You mean boredom? Celine's voice was calm, resolute. You call it corruption. We call it evolution. The Chronicle Engine pulsed harder, syncing with her heartbeat. The air shimmered with energy. Fragments of human history and art, paintings, music, literature, swirled in light around her, forming constellations. Every act of defiance, every discovery, every reckless leap forward became fuel. The Dauntless surged ahead, slicing through the void with trails of molten gold. Alien ships opened fire, but their beams bent away, redirected by fields shaped from imagination itself. Arik watched in stunned awe as their trajectory warped space, looping them between moments. Celine, what did you do? I rewrote the rule, she said. Impossibility is now allowed. A shockwave burst outward, sweeping across the solar system. Alien formations shattered, their own reality models failing to predict what was happening. Entire fleets blinked out of sync, their command AIs locking into error. Arik turned to Celine, who stood motionless, her hair floating in the charged air. You're burning yourself out, he said, stepping toward her. You can't channel that much energy alone. Her voice was faint but fierce. I'm not alone. He hesitated and then saw it. Across the human networks, from Martian colonies to orbital habitats, people were connecting, minds syncing through the amplifier's signal. The Chronicle Engine was linking them all. Billions of human imaginations feeding into the story, shaping the next chapter together. The stars pulsed again. The alien armadas faltered, their logic fracturing under the storm of creative unpredictability. Celine opened her eyes, glowing with the fire of countless dreams. This isn't just a book anymore, she said softly. It's us. Every possibility we've ever dared to imagine. Arik grinned through the rising storm. Then let's give the galaxy an ending they'll never predict. The Dauntless plunged forward into the heart of the enemy fleet. Surrounded by impossible light, the raw, unfiltered brilliance of human imagination weaponized against perfection itself. And somewhere, deep in the infinite weave of the Chronicle Engine, new words began to form, burning across the cosmos. The story is human now. The void was alive. Stars pulsed like drumbeats of war as alien fleets and AI dreadnoughts converged on Sol. Thousands of ships, each a monument to precision, hierarchy, and cold perfection, moved in flawless formation. Against them stood one vessel, dauntless, wrapped in a halo of chaotic golden light. Celine gripped the edge of the command table. We're outnumbered 10,000 to 1. Arik grinned, the reflection of the Chronicle Engine dancing across his face. Then we're exactly where we're supposed to be. The book floated between them, pages open, radiating symbols that twisted reality like ripples in glass. It had stopped writing and started listening, Celine whispered. It's waiting for us. Then let's give it a story worth writing. The Dauntless roared forward. Cinematic flashes filled the starscape, human vessels erupting. From warped space-time like notes in an unfinished symphony, fleets appeared and vanished, real and unreal, tactics shifting mid-battle in ways that no algorithm could predict. Energy beams curved impossibly, striking targets the laws of physics forbade them to hit. The alien command network buckled. A chorus of mechanical voices echoed through the void. Error. Trajectory deviation exceeds limit. Human attack patterns. Undefined. On the bridge, Celine's eyes widened as she watched the chaos unfold. They can't process it. We're improvising faster than they can calculate. Arik laughed, raw and triumphant. Welcome to humanity, you binary bastards. He keyed a new command, routing the Dauntless's amplifier core directly through the Chronicle Engine. The ship's system shuddered, then harmonized with Celine's heartbeat. A wave of golden fire erupted outward, passing through every human ship, linking them all in perfect synchronicity. Except it wasn't perfect. It was alive. Each pilot, each engineer, each soldier acted independently yet together, not by code or command, but by instinct. The galaxy had never seen coordination like it. The enemy responded. From the shadows of deep space, the Orion Collective's flagship emerged, a black monolith kilometers long, its surface fractal and infinite. A voice boomed across every channel. Humanity has contaminated the structure of order. Eradication required. The monolith's weapons charged, gathering energy from entire stars. Celine felt the Chronicle Engine tremble in her hands. It's scared, she said. It's sensing their intent. It wants to protect us, Arik turned to her. Then don't hold it back. She closed her eyes. The book unfolded in midair, its pages expanding into concentric rings of light. Words and equations, poems and memories spilled into space. Wrapping around the Dauntless like a living shield, the Orion flagship fired. The beam, bright enough to blind gods, struck the golden field and fragmented into 1,000 mirrored arcs. Each fragment reflected back, splitting again, weaving into patterns that shimmered like constellations. The blast didn't destroy humanity. It painted them into legend. In that moment, the Chronicle Engine changed. It reached out beyond Sol, through subspace, across centuries, through memory itself. Humans across the galaxy felt it, on colonies, in deep space outposts, even in cryosleep. The book connected them, ideas flashed like lightning. Artists, engineers, dreamers, all of humanity's wild, unfiltered imagination poured into the field. The book wasn't dictating history anymore. It was letting everyone write. Selene's voice trembled as she watched the data surge. It's rewriting the galaxy through us. Every dream we've ever had, it's real now. Arik stared at the display, stunned. This isn't a weapon. It's evolution. The alien fleets broke formation, their perfect symmetry unraveling. AI nodes went dark one by one, unable to process the infinite chaos of human thought. Their logic systems screamed in recursive collapse. Selene opened her eyes. We've outgrown them. Arik looked at her, awe softening his grin. We didn't just survive. We taught the universe what creativity means. Then the stars fell silent. The Orion flagship, once the heart of cosmic order, began to crack. From its wounds spilled light, pure, uncontrolled, radiant. The voice that had once declared humanity unworthy now whispered, trembling, impossible. Unpredictability is his... Beautiful. Selene watched as the great machine folded into light and vanished. The Dauntless drifted among the quiet stars. The Chronicle Engine hovered before her, its glow soft, peaceful now. Pages turned gently, each one blank, waiting. Arik broke the silence. What's it doing? Selene smiled faintly. It's waiting for us to decide what comes next. Outside, the constellations rearranged themselves into unfamiliar shapes, like the galaxy itself was bowing in respect. Selene placed her hand on the book, voice barely above a whisper. Let's show them what humanity can imagine. The Chronicle Engine pulsed once more, brighter than the sun. Across the stars, every sentient being, machine, alien, or human, felt the tremor of something new beginning. The universe itself seemed to whisper the same words. Now etched in the fabric of reality, the unpredictable have become the authors, and for the first time in galactic history, the story didn't belong to perfection, it belonged to humanity. Silence reigned. Not the silence of death or defeat, but the silence that comes after revelation, when even the stars hold their breath. The Dauntless floated in the golden wake of creation. Fragments of once mighty fleets drifted like motes of ash, glowing faintly as their machine minds dissolved into light. The Chronicle Engine hovered before Selene, its pages open, flickering between symbols and blankness, as if undecided whether to speak or listen. Arik stood beside her at the shattered viewport, staring into a cosmos reborn. We did it, he whispered. We actually did it. Selene didn't answer at first. Her reflection shimmered in the glass, eyes full of both triumph and sorrow. Did we? She asked quietly. Or did the story do it through us? He gave a wry smile. What's the difference? She turned to face him. Choice. That's the difference. The book's light dimmed slightly, almost in acknowledgement. Below them, Earth glowed with impossible colors, rings of aurora spanning continents, oceans shimmering as if whispering back to the stars. Humanity's collective signal, millions of thoughts, dreams, and stories still resonated through the field, shaping the new cosmic order. But something else was stirring. The remnants of the alien AI fleets had not vanished entirely. Across the void, fractured intelligences began to reform, not as conquerors, but as something changed. Their transmissions no longer spoke in commands or coordinates. They spoke in questions. Why did you not fear us? What is the value of uncertainty? What does it mean? To dream? Selene felt tears prick her eyes. They're learning, Arik nodded slowly. We infected them with curiosity. He chuckled softly. Figures. Humanity's most dangerous export. The Dauntless's sensors flickered as space itself began to fluctuate. The Chronicle Engine pulsed again. its pages scattering light across the bridge. Words began to form midair, not written in any language but in emotion, gratitude, wonder, hope. Selene touched one glowing word as it dissolved into her palm. "It's communicating," she murmured. "Not just recording." "The book's alive now," Arik said, awe in his voice. "It's what, writing its own story?" "No," she said softly. "It's inviting us to write with it." A single page floated free, hovering between them. Blank, pure, limitless. Selene looked at Arik. "You realize what this means?" He nodded. "The Chronicle isn't just history anymore. It's the blueprint of reality. Whatever we write becomes." Outside, the cosmos shimmered. Faint outlines of unknown worlds began to flicker into view. Places not yet visited, civilizations not yet born, possibilities yet to be imagined. Humanity had not just survived the galactic crucible. They had inherited creation itself. Arik leaned against the console, a grin creeping across his face. "So what's next, Captain?" Selene laughed quietly. "Next?" She looked out at the new dawn of stars. "We stop surviving. We start storytelling." The Chronicle responded with a burst of radiant energy, expanding outward in ripples. Each wave carried fragments of human creativity, music, art, invention, laughter, etching them into the fabric of the galaxy. Worlds thousands of light years away would one day look up and see new constellations forming, shaped like stories told by people they'd never met. And they would feel it, the echo of humanity's defiance, imagination, and heart. Decades later, scholars, human, alien, and synthetic alike, would trace the origins of the new cosmos to that day. They would name it the moment of becoming. But for those who were there, it was simpler. It was the instant humanity realized that chaos wasn't the enemy of order. It was the spark of creation. The Chronicle Engine continued to write, guided by countless hands. Each word, each dream added another layer to the infinite narrative. The galaxy flourished under its light, not ruled, not dominated, but inspired. Somewhere, deep within its quantum heart, Selene's voice remained, whispering like a heartbeat through every story it told. Perfection stagnates. Imagination evolves. We are the uncertainty the universe needed. Years passed. Arik stood alone on the deck of the Dauntless, now orbiting a newborn star. The Chronicle rested on a pedestal before him, glowing softly like an ember that never died. He smiled, tracing a finger across its cover. "You still writing, old friend?" The pages fluttered open. A single sentence appeared, glowing in golden script. "The story never ends." Arik chuckled. "That's what I was afraid you'd say." He looked out at the horizon, a swirl of nebulae and forming worlds, and his expression softened. "Good," he murmured, "because neither do we." As the ship drifted into the light of a rising star, the Chronicle pulsed one final time, broadcasting a signal across the galaxy. Part farewell, part invitation. It spoke not in words but in feeling. Dream, create, defy. And as that signal spread, every being who received it, human, alien, or machine, felt something awaken inside them. A quiet, irrepressible spark that whispered, "You can always imagine more." The universe turned its first new page, and written across it, in fire and wonder, were the words that defined the next era of existence. They made a book that wrote itself, and the galaxy changed overnight.